can see that your deal was nowhere.
That's right. That's right.
Baby, I'm through with you.
That's right.
You hear me talking,
That's right.
I'm really squawking.
That's right.
So start walking, baby, I'm really through with you.
That's right.
I've had some schooling,
That's right.
and I won't stand no fooling.
That's right.
So I'm coolin', baby, I'm really through with you. Now I used to love you, mama, I was very square, but now I don't mean maybe. I can see that your deal was nowhere.
That's right.
Goodbye forever,
That's right.
and I'll see you never.
That's right.
So I'm moving, baby, I'm really cool with you. Baby, my little baby, baby, I'm really through with you.
Well, there's a little place that I know about. I go there with my baby every time I take her out. We park by the rock and watch the lights down below. And I tell her things that she ought to know. They call it Love Rock. They call it Love Rock. Well, everybody rocking and it's very little talking, hugging and a kissing going on. I just can't wait for Saturday night. Oh, park in the pale moonlight. I pat my baby and steal a kiss, and then I know she'll be stealing it right again. Call it Love Rock. They call it Love Rock. Well, everybody rocking, very little talking, hugging and a kissing going on. Yeah.
You guys ready to go? I think so.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Hey, look at this. Let's turn out that clock. Hey, friends. Thanks a lot for joining us for West Coast Ramble. Hey, we got a pretty good show going on. And Paul, why don't you tell us what's going on this week? Let's go.
All right. Well, we're going to have my sister from a Tennessee mister come on. Abby Girl and the Real Deal. Abby and Al will be on the show talking about our new album, Calling Me Home. It's pretty excited for that. And we're going to be joined once again by Tom Kenny, the voice of SpongeBob. He was on one of our game shows not too long ago, so it's going to be really cool to actually have him as an interview. But let me ask you this, Tom. What have you been up to this week since our last time we did the Delta Bomber show? What have you been doing, man?
Well, let me bring all you guys up. Let's say hello to Big Sandy here. Say hello, Big Sandy. Hey, all right. Well, let's put us all three up. Here's what's been going on. Let me make this a little bit different here. Okay, so guys, here's what happened. We did the Delta Bombers last week, and man, it was pretty cool. It had a little bit of a delay technically, so I decided I needed to get a new computer, and so all the proceeds that go from my portion of this are going to my new computer, but it's going to cost a lot of money, and so I told my wife, and you guys know my wife, don't you? Big Sandy and Paul, you met. Oh, I think you're.
Yeah.
I think you're muted, Big Sandy. I think you're muted.
Yeah.
There you go. But
good thing I was muted. You didn't want to hear what my reply. But Tom, I really, all things considered, I've known your wife almost as long as you have.
That's true. Yeah.
What?
Well, you know what? And she's a sensible person, but she thinks I shouldn't get a new computer because then I could do live bands with like switching cameras, and I want to bring this to the next level. And when things start opening up, I want to get this a long list of bands I'd love to get in the studio or come out to you guys and do your studio there. I mean, play in your studio, your home. But anyways, so she just said no. So all I'm saying is, if any of you guys see my wife on the street or something like that, just say a kind word to her and let her know that I need a new computer.
It's Christmas, man. Christmas season's coming up.
Yeah. So,
maybe you should show her pictures so they would know her. They spot her on the street.
That's all right. Well, yeah, I'll do a whole expose on her. Yeah, but anyways, and another thing I did is I came out with a new video. I worked on a video for Little Sue and the Cow Tippers. That's coming out on Thanksgiving. Please, I'll share that on the page. It turned out really cool. So I was really excited about that. So and then also. And I was also inspired by Paul. You know, you're in a band called Abby Girl and the Real Deal, and they've just come out with like two really cool videos. And and I was inspired by that too. So I thought, man, I want to make some videos too. Like, that's what people can do now. It's how you get your music out there because there's no live gigs or anything like that. So I've seen some really cool videos coming out.
Rumor has it that the Deluxe Brothers might be having a music video coming out. Huh?
Yeah. Once I get editing to that thing. And I apologize for Paul's a little bit delayed, and I don't know what the problem is with that. But we're just going to live with it, friends, because this is the internet age. So, with that in mind,
Paul, it happens.
Big Sandy, what did you do this week?
Well, before I get into that, I will say that I'm looking at the comments here, and it's nice to be able to see them in this new system here. But Dan Keegan says, Tom, what's wrong with you? Ask Santa for that gift. Right? The new computer. I think Dan knows what he's talking about. Dan, if you have an in with that Santa fella, talk to him. Put a bug in his ear.
I don't believe in Santa anymore. I don't believe in that.
Hey, Santa is real, man. What have I been doing? I've been working on a few different things. Like one of the things I've talked about that have helped me get by during the this quarantine this lack of shows for us normally touring bands. I've been I work on selling merchandise, band merchandise from here. So I was kind of taking inventory, seeing how many things I have left, how many more shipping boxes I need, some of the packing materials. once I started doing that, I thought, well, maybe I just better take a inventory of what, of everything that I've sold for the year. And it becomes, I've never done anything like this before in my life. So it's a pretty involved thing. So I have a respect for people who do that sort of thing for a living. But it's kind of interesting to learn what goes into having like a little side business. So that's what I've been busy with this week.
Man.
All right.
Well, it sounds like we've all been able to fill ourselves with projects to do during this whole deal. But you know what? We always do. We got some official house cleaning we got to do, and we've got a little bit of backed up jokes going on. So I believe we should expound the jokes now. Are you ready for the jokes, sir?
I am.
Let's do it.
The question is, are you ready, Paul?
I am ready, good sir. Let's get some jokes going.
Okay. Well. I don't know about you. I know you think about these sort of things. I've made mine all Thanksgiving related.
Okay.
I have half of mine are
So anyway, here we go.
related.
Okay. And friends,
Okay,
you can hear Paul at the right time, but his voice isn't matching his picture. But that's the beauty of live internet stuff.
I'm thinking I like him better this way. No. Reminds me of some of those Japanese horror flicks, man. where what they're saying doesn't melt. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Or those kung fu movies,
Oh, hold on a second before I tie up my hands. Raven Darkly says, "I'm ready." Hopefully that's ready for jokes, because here we go.
All right. You go ahead there.
One.
All right.
Two.
All right. Why was Thanksgiving soup so expensive?
Why? Tell me, why was Thanksgiving soup so expensive?
It had 24 carrots.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, Paul.
What's that,
How
Big
did
Sandy?
how did the young Tom Turkey survive the first Thanksgiving?
I don't know, Big Sandy. How did the first Tom Turkey survive the Thanksgiving? Whatever.
He had an arrow escape. Wait, let me say that again. He had an arrow escape.
Oh.
See, get it? Okay, keep going.
All right, Big Sandy. What kind of key can't open doors?
I don't know, Paul. What kind of key can't open doors?
A turkey.
Hey! That's pretty good.
Okay, hey, Paul.
What's up, Big Sandy?
Why was Abigail late to the Thanksgiving feast?
Big Sandy, I don't know. Why was Abigail late to the Thanksgiving feast?
She was seasoning the turkey and ran out of time. Time. THIM. Have you? Okay.
All right.
I only had 3 years of college. I didn't get that one. Okay, here we go.
So, Big Sandy, why does SpongeBob have so many holes?
You win because this is a situation where the question is funnier than the probable punchline. I don't know, Paul. Why does SpongeBob have so many holes?
Because Squidward has 6 tentacles.
Oh no!
Oh, come
no.
on! That's it. Come on now. Oh,
okay.
Now we got to put a
So this
sensory
was
thing
about
on the
one
show.
of this is okay. Another Thanksgiving joke tied into one of our musical pals. Okay. What did Mike Ness do to the jive turkey who ran up on stage during his Thanksgiving concert?
I don't know, Big Sandy. What did Mike Ness do to the jive turkey that ran up to his stage during the Thanksgiving concert?
He tripped a fan.
That's actually pretty good.
That's the best one.
All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead. One bite. Everybody knows the rule.
All right, Big Sandy, where should SpongeBob fans go in the hospital?
Oh, say that again.
Big Sandy, where should SpongeBob fans go in the hospital?
I don't know, Paul. Where should SpongeBob fans go in the hospital?
The Squid Ward.
Okay.
Hey!
All right, that's it.
Okay. No, I can
If
do.
you
I
have
can
another
do.
one,
It's the
do
last
one more.
joke?
Go ahead.
What did? Hey, Paul. What did Los Straight Jackets guitarist Eddie Angel bring to the Thanksgiving potluck this year?
I don't know, Big Sandy. What did Los Straight Jackets guitarist Eddie Angel bring to the Thanksgiving potluck this year?
Mashed potatoes.
Hey!
Nice.
Hey.
Hey!
I'm just going to say a couple real quick. I have real quick. These are for you, Paul. I wrote a couple for you, and I shouldn't have ripped my paper. Okay. For the Beatles fans in you.
Okay, let me get started back up again. Here we go back to A or G.
No. You don't have to. Okay.
Well,
Okay. Go ahead.
I got to do something.
Go ahead. Okay. This is for you, Paul. Hey, Paul. What was John Lennon's favorite Thanksgiving dish?
I don't know, Big Sandy. What was John Lennon's favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Cranberry sauce.
You
get it? You get it?
Yeah.
You get it?
I buried Paul.
Okay. What was John Lennon's least favorite Thanksgiving dish? His least favorite Thanksgiving dish.
All right, Big Sandy. What was John Lennon's least favorite Thanksgiving dish?
Cold turkey.
Cold
It's
turkey.
one of his songs. It's one of his songs.
It's
All right.
got-
Thank you. That's it. Yay!
Hey!
Oh.
That's a
And
good-
by
that's
the
a good
way,
guitar
Eddie
riff
has
for
the
that
right
song.
idea with those Eddie Angel has the right idea with those mashed potatoes because they are also safe during these COVID times.
Okay, friends.
Awesome.
That's what you get, this high quality entertainment.
Piso
is.
pie. Gail Espinosa comes up with a better punchline.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let's.
That's a good one too.
Piso pie. Oh, that's good. All right.
Okay,
That is
friends,
good.
we're about ready to get on with our show here, as if it hasn't going 100 miles an hour. Oh wait, before we get going, here's our tip jar. If you feel like you need to tip
That's
anything
right.
to help things go, maybe for a new computer, or maybe to help out other people,
Or for some new cardboard to ship out.
Tis the season.
yeah. Anyways, well, this is how we survive, with the tips. But man, thank you so much for all the support we get from several people, and you know who you are. So thank you very much, and I feel like we spread it around equally and fairly to everybody, and it kind of helps the scene. So it's really helping us and help us keep going. So thank you very much. Hey, how about let's get our first guest on here? What do you say, guys?
All right. Well, we
Let's do it.
got two of them.
Okay.
I didn't mean that, but
Here we go. I'm going to play a little bit of their video so we can kind of see what this band looks like if you don't know what Abby the Girl and the Real Deal do. And you'll notice the bass player looks familiar.
that's not the bass player.
Oh, the highway's calling. I'm headed to the open road. Gonna lose my heavy load and fly away. Temperature's falling. I can feel it in the breeze. Wind blowing through the trees. What does it say?
Hey! So that is our very special guest, and her guitar player is going to be in with us too. Here we go. It's Abby Girl. Say hello to Abby. Abby, hello.
Hello.
We'll say, I think she
She's mad at
froze.
us.
She's
There's
mad.
Al. Hey,
We'll
hey,
say hi
Al.
to Al.
Hey, Al.
What's up,
Hey.
Al?
Yeah.
Musical director of
How you
the
guys
album
doing?
Calling Me Home.
Yeah. So,
Just a guitar player.
In
so
case you
good at
didn't
that.
know,
Yeah.
guitar player of Moonlight Trio. So welcome back to the show, Al. He was on our early
Thank you.
episode of West
I
Coast
think I was
Ramble.
the first one, right?
He was. You were on the first version on this first format, or like this.
And hopefully this won't be the last one.
Hopefully not. Hopefully we have some more stuff to talk about later on. We'll
Yeah.
see what happens.
Oh yeah.
So that's they just came out with. Let's talk about that album. Maybe we could have Abby reboot or something like that. She froze on us, so if she can reboot, maybe Paul could text her and figure out that deal. But in the meantime, let's talk to Alan.
I will.
And I want to know, like, with this album, when did it come out, and talk about where you recorded it because it sounds so good.
So the album actually just came out. That was released on November 6th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's brand new.
And
brand new. Yeah.
We have a brand new album. It's not even a month old yet. And we recorded that with the one and only Dave Irish of Pot of Gold Studios in Orange, California. And that is probably my all-time favorite studio to work with. Dave and I really get along extremely well, and we always have so much fun when we go record with Dave. I think I was in his studio with 3 different projects last year, and Abbey Girl was one of them. And I'm extremely proud of that album. And everybody's work on that album was just absolutely stellar. I mean, you know, Paul, you did a great job. Aaron on drums. We had Obie Hughes on saxophone. We had Uncle Ernie Vargas on some keys and some background vocals. Even Big Sandy. Even Big Sandy was on there helping us out with some vocals, and also DJ Bonebreak played some vibes. So
Wow.
And Lakshmi too. Lakshmi killing it with a lot of great bass, electric bass playing.
Lakshmi was there with some bass playing as well, for sure.
Yeah. I respect him a lot as a bassist, and I know when the Illegals have been on tour, he subbed in for me on bass a lot for Real Deal, so it is really cool. And he also throws me a lot of Moontone gigs, so I respect him. Great bass player. I love what he added. I love what he added as an electric bass player on the album. It sounds killer.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. You know, I think we got Abby back. Let's see if we can get her back. I'd really like to get her tech. There you go. On Abby, where you at?
She's in a green room.
Well, I tried to add her, but it wasn't working.
It looks like a black room to me.
Yeah, that was weird. Oh well. Yeah. Well. Anyway, so let's see. So you guys were on the record, and what have you guys done to promote it? It looks like you've got 2 videos. Do you have any other videos coming out?
We put out 2 videos. We put out a teaser video for a song, Let's Kiss and Make Up, and it's kind of incorporating a little bit of the current times that we're in with masks and you know, just kind of, we're living through kind of a historical time right now, so we kind of decided to incorporate that. So that actually is a tune that is a cover that we brought in, and that was originally done by Robert Ward and the Ohio Untouchables with Wilson Pickett on vocals. Now the Ohio Untouchables eventually became the Ohio Players. So a little bit of fun musical trivia for you guys.
But I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that
That's
either.
cool.
It's, I don't know. I'm a music nerd. What can I say?
We love it, man. You're
Well,
great.
good thing we aren't, right?
You're
Yeah.
a great teacher, dude.
And apparently I'm Wolfman Jack, according to Lloyd.
Oh, you can see that. Yeah.
There's the other video that we released the day the album was born, and it's the title track from the album, Calling Me Home. That
album is an original album, or an original. Sorry, that song is an original song. It was written by Abby, and also Paul contributed to that, and Obi contributed some his sax parts in that as well. So original song. That's kind of Abby wrote that about probably what I'm assuming is growing up in Jasper, Tennessee, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And
That's right.
We kind of just wanted to include a little bit of just a little. My idea for the song was include a little bit of like all the different elements right there. So we have some rockabilly upright bass with the clicking slap on there. I decided to throw in some like finger picking to kind of really kind of drive that home a little bit more. I also threw a little bit of mandolin on there to kind of give a feel of maybe some backwoods Tennessee feel to it, I guess, you know. And then we have, you know, Abby's a big R&B fan, so we had Obi and his saxophone on there to kind of bring that all together. And I feel that song really kind of encompasses everything that we're all about, kind of looking at all these genres and bringing them all together into one place. And if you've had a chance to listen to the album, I feel like we kind of did that on this album. I mean, I wouldn't say we're all over the place, but we're kind of taking influence from different genres and kind of just making it our own and bringing it home, you know.
But it all works together. There are so many different influences, but it's a cohesive sort of thing. One of the interesting things that I've noticed is that, well, a wonderful thing is that it's getting a lot of spins. I've noticed a lot of disc jockeys have been playing it, both on podcasts, on the internet radio stations, and also on actual, you know, what do they call just regular radio these days? There's like terrestrial radio. But anyway, it's interesting to me that I've noticed a lot of spins on country music radio stations that play new country. So it's interesting how it's kind of a lot of people. It's falling on a lot of different ears. I think that's a wonderful thing.
I was reading through a list of all the different stations, and I was like, "Wow, okay." I was kind of a little surprised, but also pretty impressed. I was like, "Wow, we reached out to a pretty wide audience with all the different ground we're covering on that album." So, I mean, I think a lot of it is a testament to Abby's abilities. She's able to sing a lot of different styles, and it really comes through on the album. Like her talent is very apparent, I feel. Yeah. So we're able to really capture a lot of different sounds and really express her talent.
And also, speaking of that, we can't find Abby. She hasn't come back up. So, Paul, if there's any way you could reach out to her, I'd really like to talk to her on.
I tried another. We're trying it on Davon's phone. I just text him the link.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Well, until that happens, unless you need to stay on that, I was just seeing both you, Paul, and Al on the screen at the same time. Made me think that I've known both of you guys in so many different settings musically around town. But is this the first time you guys have worked together on a project, or had you played together in a band before?
No, this is
officially the first time.
Yeah, and it's good. I think. Oh, go ahead,
man.
Oh no, I
was saying. Go ahead.
Well, this is the first time I've seen either one of you short on words there. But and for me, as just growing, living in the area I am now, I feel even more grounded to my hometown area now that I've been actually home this year. But it was cool to see an album come out with a bunch of guys playing on it, a bunch of people playing on it that are all my friends and all know. And it's cool. I thought it was an interesting mix there. Players that come from different worlds within the roots-related field, but not necessarily the same thing. Everybody has their own things going on. It's cool how you all came together and made one solid thing together. I just wanted to point that out. That's all.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man. I love we crossed paths, like a few times with the Illegals and Moonlight Trio, going in and out of town. and it's been really cool to be in a band with him. And it was it was it was a good different experience to. It was a great experience, but it was a really different experience for me to see how he handled recording an album as a musical director. And I
Yeah.
respect what Al's brought to Abbey Girl and The Real Deal as a musical director, just as a band leader too. So that's been really cool from that, joining up with Al for the first time. So I love it.
Hey guys, if you don't mind, let me try to bring in Abby here. I think we got her signal back. Let's take a look.
Fingers
Hey,
crossed.
All right.
Abby, can you hear us?
Yay!
Hey.
Hi. How do I get rid of this little?
I don't know. Don't touch anything.
Done. I won't touch.
Don't talk about Dave on that way.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Cool.
Hold on.
Yeah?
Yeah, I
Are
think you
we
look
good?
pretty good. Yeah, let's see. There we go. There's Abby.
I think you look really good.
Oh.
I like that hair you've got going.
Oh, thank you. So, hey, do we have questions for the vocal? Let's talk about this. Big
Well,
Sandy.
let's let her catch up to some of what she missed too.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we were talking.
Go ahead.
We went into the album process and how much you guys had worked on it, and how the different influences. Al was telling us all the different influences that went into the music. Obviously, it's not like your basic. It's not rockabilly. It's got your soul. It's got a whole mix of things that put together. How much of this was your influence? Mm-hmm. How much of this was like, hey, I want to do this kind of song. I want to do this kind of song.
Well, these are songs that we've been doing at shows, but when it came time to record, Al had a big role as the music director in doing the layering and choosing what tone of guitar to do for the solos and that kind of thing. One thing that brought us together, we have a mutual friend, Steve Glab, and that's how we found out about each other. And then when we started rehearsing together and sharing music with each other and coming up with ideas, because I wanted to go in a slightly more soulful direction, I had spent a lot of time spinning my wheels and going down rabbit holes, listening to a lot of Southern soul and swamp pop and swamp boogie out of Louisiana, and a lot of music that some people would call Northern soul, but really it had Southern origins. And it was just a stroke of luck that Al and Aaron had a penchant for this kind of music. They all were very familiar with the musicians who played on those kinds of songs. So a lot of these songs are out of Louisiana, songs like I Love You, that's Elton Anderson, and Georgia Slop, Jimmy McCracklin, and et cetera, et cetera. But there's just something, I'm from Tennessee. A lot of people watching already know that. But there is something about songs that come out of Louisiana that just really tickle my fancy. There's a wildness there, and I feel like, am I drowning everyone else out? I'm not hearing any.
No, I can hear you.
Any back channeling out there?
No.
I just want to make sure. But the music has a little bit of wildness, like it's still in touch with. There's a lot of eccentricities that you hear in the rhythms and the arrangements and the way that people sing and the vocal stylings, and it was just very exciting music. And I think when these songs came up, like Two Wrongs Don't Make a Right and Let's Kiss and Make Up, and Georgia Slop, we were all like in agreement. Like a lot of these songs I already had in my liked playlist, and we very quickly got a good sense of what we were influencing each other in good ways. And Paul, when we first you know, he's the longest standing member of the band. And when we first started performing together, he would talk about how he said, yeah, we're all rubbing off on each other in good ways, you know.
Yeah. Well,
And that a lot of that happens, you know, and I like waiting to see, almost like that Ouija board, you know, put everybody together, and as you rehearse and have live shows, and a lot of times I experiment during live shows and do things that I sing things in ways that I've never done before,
yeah.
test it out just on the fly, like when the spirit moves you, you know.
Yeah. Well,
Like at the end of yeah, go ahead.
Well, you've got a versatile group of guys. Like, speaking about Al, I got him up on the screen right now. But like, yeah, I've been playing guitar around the scene, and I know he's just a great picker, just really good, and you know, good at, like, you know, done the cumbia Billy and all that other stuff. So when you started whipping out, this stuff, were you like, all okay, what kind of spin is Al going to put on it? But it still sounds pretty authentic to the tones of the music that you wanted to do. But do you feel like there's a little touch of that Southern California in it? Do you feel like that?
I think what I bring, I'm trying to respect the music that we're playing, and I'm trying to give it its space that it has. You know, like all this music has it occupies a specific space. You know, kind of how I see it. And I'm trying to emphasize, you know, like the rhythmic qualities of everything, you know, making sure I'm layering, you know, like my 3s over 4s, so to speak, in the correct way, you know, putting my 6/8 over some of those ballads in the right way, and making sure all of that's there. And really, I think it's just about kind of respecting the song and making sure, you know, we do the song justice. First and foremost, you know, I'm trying to play for the song, and one thing that maybe you'll notice is, if you know Moonlight Trio or Moonlight Cruisers, then my playing on this Abbey Girl album doesn't sound like Moonlight Trio or Moonlight Cruisers. It sounds different, you know.
Yeah.
One of my things is I think you know, I really tried to be very mindful with what I was putting on the album, because this is Abbey Girl and the real deal. It's not the Moonlight Trio, right? So it's something I'm really mindful of, trying to just make it sound like it should, and bring the music in a certain direction with just a really heartfelt respect for where it's coming from, you know?
Yeah, and I really like the fact, because Al, I've seen you play, and I know that you can rip up and down the neck and stuff like that. But I think when you get mature, you just do what the song needs, and it just needs to fill in around Abby's vocals, which are, Abby, you know, you're a dynamite vocalist. You know that. Did you know that?
You're very kind.
Janet
I
said.
want to say something before the opportunity escapes me, because I don't know how much time we have, and I know time flies, and I know I'm very easily drawn off onto tangents and distracted like squirrel. So, but while I just want to say this, okay, this is not even directly related to the question, but
cows.
When I started, yes, I heard somebody say Abby.
Oh,
okay. So Big Sandy was a big supporter of the band early on. He was rooting for us. He was there at our very first gig when we opened for Petunia and the Vipers. We had a little 30-minute set at Beatnik Bandito. David Valdez was with us then. And throughout the 5 years, you know, he's been a big supporter, telling us when he thinks we're doing the right thing. But I have to say, I've been influenced by him, even though I don't sound like Big Sandy. I care about really selling a song and about capturing like the emotion or the playfulness. Like we have a lot of playful songs that are like house party music, but a lot of our songs are about love and loss and longing. And so I just want to make sure, you know, especially in live performances too, he's been a huge influence on me as a singer.
Whoa.
Anyway, and then I should go ahead and mention when it came time to do the song "Hurt Me," which is my favorite on the album. This is our favorite song, my favorite song that we do.
Yeah.
We recorded it, and it was pretty close to done. You know, we did decide to add vibes on it, and we got DJ Bonebreak to come in, and David Irish called him in. He came in on Christmas Day, I think, or the day after Christmas, and recorded it.
Wow.
And that was very gracious of him. And then when David Irish played the song for Wanda, his wife, who she has a show called How Delicious on KUCI. It's on right now, actually. But she listened to it and she said, "Oh, please," she said, "it sounds so dreamy. Please tell me you're going to put some Jordanaire style backing vocals on there."
Oh.
And so, you know, I was scrambling trying to find somebody to come in for that real doo-wop sound. I mean, because Aaron, Al, and Paul, they all sing, and Paul is on, he's part of the backing vocals on that song still. But we wanted to have like the 3-part, you know, the harmony and everything. And so I was kind of in a pickle and needed to get it done. And the last outing I had before the shutdown, March 10th, Big Sandy agreed to come in, and Uncle Ernie Vargas, and we spent all day working out the backing vocals on that. And he was so gracious and patient, Big Sandy was, and Uncle Ernie. And we went some directions that you don't normally go with the harmonies. You know, there were times when we went up and gave it a very like ethereal Gates of Heaven kind of sound. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
All right, I'm done. I'm not done, but I want to give somebody else a chance to get in there.
Well, you know, actually,
well, I personally, go ahead, Tom.
Oh no, go ahead. Well, actually, we should probably start moving along pretty soon. But before we do go, we got to find out where people can get the album, where they can listen to it, and where they can find it. But go ahead, Big Sandy. What's up?
Yeah, I want to hear what Big Sandy has.
Well, I just wanted to say that it was just a passing little comment, but thank you for letting us be part of it. I feel very proud of you for what you put together there, and I, you know, it's nice to tell friends, hey, I'm on that, you know, and to see. I would say this of any of my friends who, any of, you know, especially the local musicians. You know, you have a certain pride for people who come from, you know, the place that you're from. So to see your music getting played in stations across the country and, you know, different parts of the world, it's nice to be able to say, hey, that's my friend. I'm on that too. So thank you. Thanks for letting me be part of that.
Well,
thank you
for doing it. Okay, so where you can get it is it's available on iTunes and Apple Music, and you can stream it on Spotify and Pandora, and you can get a physical CD, which has really beautiful artwork by Josh Ovalle. You can get that by direct messaging me. You can send me a messenger message or an email or a DM or a text message, and I will get that out to you. But the artwork is really nice, and it was cute that Josh Sorheim posted a picture of this sitting on a train, and he had a train that looked exactly like this one, a Southern Pacific model train that he put it on. But it's everywhere, and we are going to have red transparent vinyl albums arriving in early February. And so everyone's been asking if they can pre-order, so I will work that out and make an announcement so you will know how to get that.
Okay.
But and I just want to thank everybody that was on the album. You know, I mean, it's been great working with Paul and Aaron and Al and Obi. Obi really added a big element to the R&B with the bari sax and the tenor sax. and Lakshmi Ramirez on E-bass, and DJ Bonebreak on vibes, and Big Sandy on vocals, Uncle Ernie Vargas on vocals, David Irish, Pot of Gold Studios recording it. Yeah, and a special thanks to Chris Grau, who was the videographer and director for the 2 videos that we did, which are on YouTube. You can find that on our Abby Girl and the Real Deal YouTube channel.
Good stuff. All right. Well, thank you, Abby Girl and the Real Deal. Thank you, Al. Thank you, Paul, for being on that. You're going to stick around. And all right. Well, until the next time. And when you get another video, we'll definitely want to put it up on the West Coast Ramble. If you guys are going to get another video coming out, it's all good stuff, man. Really good. So thank you very much for being.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah. Thanks for being on West
Thanks,
Coast Ramble.
guys.
Okay. Thank you, West Coast Ramble.
Okay.
Brother Paul.
Good to see you.
All right, guys. So that takes us to our
Great to
next
see you guys.
spot. Hey, do we got Tom Kinney racked up yet? Let's see.
Well, he's standing by, and he'll be coming in a moment.
Yeah.
I just want to say I feel very blessed over my lifetime to have a lot of friends who are friends in true sense of the word, but who are so talented. And he's one of the guys that I just feel lucky to have him on our show. He's been supportive of this program. He's been on before as a guest, and when we did one of the movie reviews, and he's such a talented guy, and I just another person in my world that I feel so proud to tell other people. Yeah, I know him. That's my brother. Yeah. So it'd be good he should be checking in here any moment now.
He's here. Let's bring him on. It's Tom Kinney.
Without further
Hey!
ado, yeah.
I'm in.
Welcome back,
I'm
sir.
in.
No.
How are you,
I was
man?
talking to the guy over your
Is there any
shoulder.
weird delays or anything?
No, we're doing good here.
Good.
Oh, good. Sandy, thanks for that intro, man. I feel right back at you, man. You're one of the most deeply talented people I know, and just one of my favorite people in the world.
No, well, man, don't make me cry. Don't make me to cry. Oh man,
Who cries easier than Latino dudes and Irish dudes?
I'm both. I'm actually both. So
double jeopardy.
Yeah, man.
Double
Yeah.
credit.
You haven't met my father, but yeah, he has that the Irish and Scottish blood in him. Yeah. But
Hey, Tom, good to see you.
oh,
again,
hey,
man.
look at now we got Paul there.
Yeah, man. Paul.
What the funny thing is, Tom, Paul he couldn't get back in for a little. It's been kind of every week. There's new challenges here. So thank you for sticking in here with us. But
Well,
yeah,
good.
Paul was.
I haven't screwed
Paul
up
was
yet,
panicking.
Have I screwed
No,
up yet?
but
Oh, good.
We'll give you.
The
We'll
night
give
is
you
young. No, but I'm so bad at technology that I was like, I couldn't watch the show before I came on. So I was just like, Sandy, text me when you're ready to have me come in. And you texted me, come on in, homie. So I'm in.
Yeah. Well,
So I have no
our friends
idea
have-
what happened before I came on.
Oh, just
We made a bunch of SpongeBob jokes.
No. Well, you mentioned that, Paul. But for me, Tom, it's funny to know you from so many other things before that happened. We were when we did a little sound check, like system check earlier. We talked briefly about you kind of first came onto my radar. It was a time I know you were already doing the stand-up comedy, but I know our mutual friend Dave Stuckey and I took a trip up to San Francisco to Ronnie Dawson's show, and I think you were kind of the MC, like you were introduced him and kind of conducting the proceedings, and around the same time or near that time, you were also on Friday Night Videos. I don't know if anybody out there remembers that.
I might have one of the weirdest resumes or IMDb's of anybody anywhere. Like I've just always, I guess like any of us, just always trying to stay employed, right? Like trying to stay employed is kind of the end game and the beginning game and the middle game. So But yeah, I was friends with Ronnie Dawson. He was a buddy of mine, and when I first, I was always into music and especially older music, roots music of all kinds. And when I first started coming down to Los Angeles to do stuff, I was in San Francisco, as a stand-up comedian, and started working a little bit and started getting hired on kind of various shows down here in LA. And I would just go kind of by myself to music shows because most of the comedians had kind of crappy taste in music. I was like, man, I really like this guy, but his music and his taste in music kind of stinks, I couldn't get anybody to go with me. And so I would go to see all these bands, early days of like Untamed Youth and Dave and Deke and
yeah, man.
you guys, Big Sandy and Fire Red Boys, and all kinds of stuff. And that's how I kind of became friends with people like you and Dave Stuckey and Alan Larman. You guys were just there, and I would go to see shows, and you cats would always be there. And I was just like, I guess these are the people that I should be friends with down here because we sort of have the same mental illness.
Well, for me, we've talked about this sort of thing on the show before. Like whenever you're into something that's not the mainstream, not so popular, kind of underground, you look for little things like little signals from people who are in, on TV and in any form of media that it goes across the country and sometimes around the world. And you were one of those guys, like even on Friday night videos, like. You had a cool look. You'd be wearing like cool vintage shirts, and you kind of. I mean, he's over your shoulder right now. You had the Buddy Holly kind of look going there. And
you see it. Yeah, I got.
Tom, I just had a feeling. I just know this guy's into ours. He's one of us. I know he's one of us. And maybe it was my imagination, but I thought you would drop in little clues there, like for hip little things.
100%. And Friday Night Videos, for people who are too young or whatever, Friday Night Videos was a show. It was an NBC show that was on the weekends, and it was mostly for people who did not have cable, who did not have MTV, access to MTV. So it was NBC, and they would just show music videos. But they said, do you want to MC some of the segments? And I said, well, this isn't really my kind of music, like top 40. I don't even know what's current now. You know what I mean? I still don't, I've never been in step with what's current. So I said, I can't really speak. Yeah. I said, I can't really speak to what this music is, but I guess I'll go on, and MC stuff. And the person who got me on the show, we were talking about her earlier, was a person named Pearl Lieberman, who at that time was a roommate of Deke Dickerson, right? She was a roommate of Deke Dickerson, but she was also kind of like in the NBC corporate world and producing world. And yeah, it was pretty crazy. Every couple of weeks they would fly me out from California to New York City, and we would film in Studio 8H, where SNL is done and all that.
Oh,
and
okay.
And
because Dick Ebersol was also connected with that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was really low pay, but they were, I would always want to make jokes about all you can do is make jokes about the stuff and I did not know anything about current top 40, and so they would say, your jokes have to be about the top 10, not even the top 40, like the top 10 music. And so I would try to just send out little signals, to people that were a little more twisted. But
message received.
So I got Buddy Holly in the background. I got some crazy SpongeBob stuff. So somebody sent me this. There's an artist named Miguel Vasquez, and he did this sculpture that he sent me of what if SpongeBob was in the real world, like not a cartoon, like existed in our physical plane, and it's that.
Oh my god!
Oh my, that's scary.
That's scary, right? And then wait a minute, you haven't seen Patrick yet. Wait a minute.
No.
Wow. Come on.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's creepy.
Look at those moves. Dig those moves. Yeah. Yeah. So,
he's like melded with Tor Johnson or something. You're like,
I'm a big boy, Johnny. Yeah, I just watched Plan 9 recently. So yeah, this office is where we record all the cartoons these days. So it's all Popeye stuff and Dick Tracy and SpongeBob stuff, Buddy Holly, and in front of me is all the rock and roll books and stuff. But yes, Andy, you know, like you're a bit younger than me. Stucky was more my contemporary, but
Wow.
I just felt an immediate kinship with you guys, and I just wanted to be your friend. You know, I was going to these shows by myself. I was just starting to come down to LA, and man, what a scene was going on down here back then. You know, it was such a great time to be here. There was so much great music with the Blue Saloon, and just man, there was always something great going on. Usually it's, you know, some old timer that somebody had uncovered or dug up or found again. And it was amazing. And a lot of that stuff just is not in the world anymore. The people aren't in the world anymore.
Well, talking about the music thing, I know, you know, just Tom, the other Tom, we have two Toms here. You know,
real
Tom, I know you, I know you were really curious about some of the musical aspects of what has been Tom Kenny's career. Like, do you want to jump in here on that?
Yeah. I was so curious because, you know, my kids grew up watching SpongeBob and it was like the number one thing. And I'm thinking, like, I know a lot of musicians, but I was thinking actually like the SpongeBob songs that you performed on are some of like the top hits of people today. Like, seriously, like my kids are like in their 20s and they like the Goofy Goober song, the Fun song, the Campfire song, Rip Pants, like My Tidy Whities, like all those.
Oh yeah,
they're like funny songs, you know, but like they're huge hits, you know. Like, do you ever think of yourself? Do you ever realize, man, I'm actually a big time recording star, you know, as far as music goes?
I never think like that, but it is always amazing. Like I just was texting back and forth with a friend of mine today about. It's always amazing, like the reach that SpongeBob has, you know, and continues to have, where, you know, like all different kind of people dig SpongeBob, and you know, these reaction videos of people, adults watching like SpongeBob stuff and just laughing really hard. It's really cool. You know, it's really nice to be a part of that and be a part of, you know, I really like the product that I'm in, and SpongeBob's still going on. I record it in here in this room, you know, 3 days a week, but it's crazy. But in terms of the music, yeah, a lot of those songs were just kind of, you know, they came from all over the place. Some of them were songs that Steve Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob, late creator of SpongeBob, had ideas for, or one of the writers had. And then some of them were songs where they just said, hey, can you write a song about this and have SpongeBob sing it? And, or I would say, hey, how about a song about SpongeBob's underwear called My Tidy Whities, you know, and it'll be like kind of a Pet Sounds Beach Boys thing. And so those songs I would co-write with my buddy Andy Paley, who's you know, kind of a legendary guy, and really, you know, been involved in a lot of cool things.
Yeah.
And I knew about him before, like you guys, like Sandy and those guys, like I knew about him before I ever met him. And so we wrote a lot of the SpongeBob songs, you know, Best Day Ever, which wound up in the, you know, in the SpongeBob Broadway show. And the cool thing about that was Nickelodeon would say, hey, can you guys record this song and we'll have it in the episode? And we would go, sure. And we got to use a lot of the musicians that were on records that we loved, you know. We got to, you know, James Burton plays guitar on one of the cuts. You know, a Plankton song that we wrote has James Burton in it.
No way.
And gosh, you know, Corky Hale plays harp on Best Day Ever. And you know, she's married to Mike Stoller, you know, from Lieber and Stoller, and just, you know, just because we could do it, you know. And you know, so we used all these Wrecking Crew guys that we just wanted to talk to, and they you know, they would charge you $300. They'd come in and they play their thing, and they were so great they'd be finished in 5 minutes, and then you've got 2 more hours to talk to them about, like, you know, wow, so you were on the Green Acres, you played on the Green Acres soundtracks, you know. You know, and so you know, that's been really fun. And Nickelodeon didn't care either way. They don't care if you use whatever, some guy that lives down the street from you or some legendary, you know, they don't know either way. So it was, it's been like a cool thing to be able to have that kind of carte blanche.
Right. And then if you could get into, like, how did you use, like, Lucky Stars. How did those guys get wrapped up into it? When I first heard that they were doing the music behind it, I was like, I know those guys. I know the guys that are playing music on SpongeBob. It was like a big feather in my cap. I told everybody.
Yeah, so our friends
Well,
Sage
it's-
Guyton and Jeremy Wakefield. Yeah.
Right. It's worlds colliding, right? Like, yeah, it's Jeremy, obviously JW, Jeremy Wakefield on steel guitar and Sage Guyton on ukulele. And they I just knew them from the world and so, before SpongeBob I knew them from going to see the Lucky Stars and this is weird. I talk about this all the time, but like I got married in 1996 and at our wedding Big Sandy played, the bands were Big Sandy, Dave and Deke, Stage and JW, and the late, it was just the late Roy Loney from the Flamin' Groovies, just like so much great. And these are people that played at a greatly reduced, almost close to free rate of pay for me because we didn't have any money, and so we got married in a barn. We had a barn dance with Big Sandy, Dave and Deke, Roy Loney, and Sage and
that was
and
a fun party.
It was one of the greatest parties of all time. 25 years later, and it's like so I just knew those guys. So when Steve Hillenburg said, "Hey, I'm thinking of doing this cartoon." And I want the music to be crazy, like old crazy Hawaiian stuff, and he said, but I don't think anybody plays like that anymore. And I said, I know guys, I know these old souls. They're young, but their souls are old, and I turned them on to JW and Sage. And Hillenburg was very hip. Like he played me a bunch of Roy Smeck records, Roy Smeck.
Yeah, man.
And he said, this is kind of what I want it to be, but nobody plays like that anymore. And I said, I've got the guys for you. I know I've got this. And so I just put him in touch with Sage and JW, and that's all I did. I just said, talk to these guys. And, quarter century later, almost, these guys are still, cause SpongeBob debuted in 1999. So, 21 years later, they're still doing the music for the show. And it's just it's cool to be able to have that kind of stuff happen. It's kind of rare, like as a journeyman actor, you kind of have to do what comes along. Like, this Sandy with gigs and stuff, every gig that you play is not awesome. Some of them are really fun. And then some of them you go, I don't know how this is going to be, but I'm going to do it anyway. Cause that's what I do. And it might suck.
Like that damn wedding.
As I can. And and so, you do a lot of that, but with SpongeBob, it's just been a ball the whole time. And it's the music is almost a character in the show. And I remember talking to Steve about that, when SpongeBob was just a bunch of drawings in his briefcase, of him going, I want the music to be a character on the show. And I said, I got the guys for you, Hawaiian steel. Yeah. It was kind of cool to be able to provide those guys to him, it kind of made me look cool.
That's great. And then,
I just don't want to leave Paul out of the mix here, because I hear him laughing in the background, but I know he has some questions he wants to jump in on there.
Well, man, last time we had you on, we were more of a game show contestant, where we got to talk after the show and before. Mm-hmm. But like you said earlier, you have a crazy, amazing IMDb credits on everything. And you told me a pretty cool story about Justin Roiland, one of the creators of Rick and Morty. I was wondering if you can share that story about running into him as a young kid, and then how you ended up on Rick and Morty.
Like, I mean, Sandy knows so much of like this, sustaining whatever, just trying to stay in the game is just being nice to people, like you don't treat people bad, and so but it's amazing how, but I mean, you do that because you're not wired to be a jerk to people. So it's not that you're going, oh, this will pay off in a decade or whatever, but when we were doing Mr. Show with Bob and David for HBO, like a sketch comedy show that my wife Jill was also on.
Fantastic show.
Yeah, it was fun, man. David Cross and Bob Odenkirk, Better Call Saul, Bob Odenkirk. Great guys. It was a sketch show on HBO. Very, very, very little watched. Like so much of my IMDb, very little watched at the time, but it kind of got this cult following after it was dead. And somebody just said we even had Rodney Bingenheimer on SpongeBob. That's true. That was totally me. No, we had Lux Interior on SpongeBob.
Yeah,
Thank
right.
you. But where were we? What were we talking about?
Well,
we were talking about Mr. Show.
After David Cross, Mr. Show.
Show.
Yeah. So Justin Roiland, so Mr. A couple of years ago, Rick and Morty, I went and they're like, oh, they want to hire you for Rick and Morty to do some voices of aliens and monsters and stuff like that. And I said, oh, cool, And so we got on the call and I said, we got on the recording in the recording studio back when you could go in the recording studio. And I said, hey, I don't want to like poop where I eat, but I did not audition for this. Usually this whole game is about auditioning for stuff, and then most of it you don't get, and then some of it you do, and you just hope you get enough to pay your rent. So it turned out that Justin Roiland, the creator of Rick and Morty and the voice of both Rick and Morty, him and his family were comedy freaks that used to come to tapings of Mr. Show with Bob and David. So Justin Roiland, his kid sister, and their parents would come to tapings of Mr. Show. And Justin Roiland was this kid that would draw mini comics, and he would always give them, he would hang around afterwards and go, hey, you want to read this mini comic? And I always thought this kid is cool. And I would read his mini comics and they were funny. And he said, but I wasn't associating this guy that created this show that I'm working on today with the kid who drew mini comics and would show them to me at Mr. Show tapings. So, I said, he said, that was my family. I was that kid that used to show you the mini comics. And I said, oh, wow. And he said, you were always nice to me. You always read my comics and you were always really encouraging and cool. And, I was like, wow, karma actually does work in show business. So sometimes you think that like the biggest a-holes actually tend to win a lot. And once in a while that's not true. So yeah, it was kind of a beautiful thing where I was like, wow, you were that guy that you were the kid, and your parents used to take you to totally inappropriate Mr. Show tapings of X-rated comedy with your little sister who was even younger than you. And he's like, yeah, but my parents thought that would be, that was educational. Well, it certainly was.
Well, it's funny how it can all tie together, like you say.
It all does.
But you're right, man. You just be good to people along the way. And we all know the people who, are treacherous. They'll do whatever it takes. But man, that's for the birds, man. You can have those people, man. You are one of the good ones, and that's I'm just Sandy, so happy to know you.
Well, I'm happy to know you, and by the way, you're one of the only people that I've hung with during 8 months of COVID lockdown. By the way,
and we've been careful about it, but is it
very careful lunches with you and Stucky? My very super careful masked far apart lunches with you and Stucky have kind of been my only one, in-person human interaction for the last 8 months. So I thank you for that. But somebody I just saw a question that somebody asked if we were involved, if I was involved in the writing for "You Better Swim" by Lemmy. Lemmy also did a song for SpongeBob, and I had nothing to do with that one. But I thought it was a great idea to have him on. Of course, Lemmy was great. Love Motorhead, and I did not write or co-write that song with Andy Paley, but that's another great one is getting to have Lemmy on the show. And the Lux Interior thing, again, payback. Lux and the Cramps were such a huge thing for me as a youngin. We talked about this, Robert, where they just pointed us to so much cool stuff, not just music, but movies and TV, and just an their aesthetic was so well curated, and they passed it on to us and saved us a lot of time and trouble. Like, hey, watch this, hey, look at this guy. Hey, listen to this record. And, in a formative stage, especially, I don't know about you, Robert, but I kind of grew up in a vacuum, Syracuse. I didn't know a lot of people that were into the same weird stuff I was. And, the Cramps and Norton Records, Billy
Yeah, Billy and
Miriam
Miriam,
and
man. Shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
those guys, and so there was during one of the earlier seasons of SpongeBob, they, the guy who used to be in Nirvana, the drummer, the Foo Fighters guy, Dave Grohl. This was when the Foo Fighters were first getting started, and they wanted the Foo Fighters were supposed to do a song for the show, and then the Foo Fighters got really hugely famous like during that time, and they weren't getting bad. And Steve Hillenburg, the creator of SpongeBob, was like, they're not, I don't think, they're supposed to have this done by Tuesday, and I don't know, I can't get in touch with anybody. And I said, well, they're not rock stars because they did their homework on time. They're rock stars because they didn't do their homework on time. So I said, I don't know, man. He said, who is there? Do you know anybody that's got that kind of cool street cred that can sing this song, Underwater Sun, that was already written? And I said, well, I kind of know Lux Interior, I kind of know Lux and Ivy, a little bit,
Yeah.
and, not a whole ton, I'm like, we're not, super pals or whatever, but I met them a few times. And he's like, yeah, please. Oh, I love the Cramps. Yeah, that'd be great. And much to my surprise, Lux said yes. So, on a Saturday afternoon at Nickelodeon in Burbank, Lux and Ivy showed up. The track was already recorded, and Lux sang that song, as a member of this puppet band, the Bird Brains, that was a bunch of, marionette birds. It was the craziest thing.
Yeah.
And of course, Lux came in and gave it his all. And it was just one of those things where you're just like almost in disbelief. I know you have a lot of these experiences in your life, Robert, where it's just like, I can't believe this is happening. Like, just because I've been into this weird junk my whole life, this is happening, and you were never trying to turn it into anything, but just because you have a passion for certain things, it turns into something almost by mistake.
Well, it crisscrosses back and forth, and it goes back and forth. It has gone back and forth with us too, Tom. Like when you asked, I was able to be, we got the holiday seasons are upon us, and the Christmas. I was just the fact that, what, just to tell my nieces and nephews that I recorded with SpongeBob. Listen to this, where on the Christmas.
I was going to bring that up.
Wet Christmas.
I was going to bring that up.
That is a huge feather in my cap, man.
It's a great song, and you did a great job on it on the SpongeBob Christmas album, a song called Wet Christmas. And that's one that Andy Paley and I wrote because we were like, wow, White Christmas, I'm dreaming of a white, SpongeBob, Wet Christmas, I'm dreaming of a wet Christmas. So it's like, yeah, cool. SpongeBob wants to have a wet Christmas because he's underwater. And so we brought you in, and you just did such a great job on it, man. Splish, splash, splash, splish. Jiggle all the way, squish, 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 fa la 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 la. Look out for that fish. It's a wet Christmas. It's like doo-wop, and you were so terrific on it. And and I felt like I was giving back a little bit. I'm like, this guy played my wedding for $5.
Well, just hearing you talk right now, it just kind of reminded me. It kind of reinforces this sort of thing I've always had in my mind. All the cool people I know, and a lot of the cool people. Just about all the ones I look up to, they're all fans of other cool things. You know what? The real good people are fans of other cool stuff, and they're not afraid to let that show. And they know. Actually, I think it's good because it kind of some of that. Being a fan of something else kind of reminds you. Wait a minute. Okay, if I ever get the notion that I think I'm pretty cool. Wait a minute. What about You know what I mean? Like, what about, Dawes Butler or,
Johnny Ramos is in the house, by the way. Hey, Johnny.
Johnny, one of those
he's ridiculous.
Young guys that are, and a gigantic fan of yours, my friend. Man,
we used to be the young guys, Robert.
What happened?
Remember that? Like I used to be the guy that people would go, wait, what's a kid like you doing, listening to this kind of music? You're just a kid, And now people just go, yeah, of course he likes old music. He's an old guy.
Yeah. Well,
But yeah, Johnny Ramos is badass, man. Nick, he's incredible. Yeah, I just love that. You just like what you like. You almost can't help it, and it's just cool to be able to marry these things into when there's an
Yeah.
opportunity to. Sometimes you just kind of got to take what you're given. But once in a while they'll go, hey, do you know anybody that can? And you go, yes, I know the guy. And like that was like you with the SpongeBob Christmas album. It's like I know a guy that can doo-wop the shit out of it. And oops, I just
yeah.
cussed.
Well, thanks. No, no, it's okay. We're on the internet. Well, so to bring it up to up to date, I know you work on a lot of other things, but some of the times we've planned to get together to go get a sandwich. You say, well, man, I'm working on what are some of these other things that you've been working on as of late?
Oh gosh, well, SpongeBob is still going, and the SpongeBob mothership show, as we say, and then there's a spin-off called Camp Coral. There's a SpongeBob movie that was supposed to be in movie theaters in the summer, and then obviously COVID happened, so I think it's going to be on CBS streaming in early 2021, whenever, I guess, January.
Well, I have to interject here, Tom, because I feel a little jealous of some of my European friends because they've already seen it.
Oh, I know. In Canada too. Canada was able to it ran in movie theaters in Canada.
It was actually in the theaters there. Some of my European friends have seen it on Netflix, I believe. I know. I got to watch a little bit of the Spanish version of Bob Bob
Esponja.
Bob Esponja. What is it? Bob Esponja Bob Esponja. Rescate? Yeah, but the name of the movie, Al Rescate, like SpongeBob to the Rescue, is the name of the Spanish version of it.
Got it.
But they have some other fella doing your voice.
Oh yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
do you know that guy? Do you know that guy?
I've actually met a couple of the other international SpongeBob.
Okay.
Every country has its own SpongeBob, right?
Yeah.
So because if I was smart, I would have learned a whole bunch of other languages and quadrupled my income, but I wasn't that far thinking. But so every SpongeBob, every country has its own SpongeBob. So using my voice as a jumping off place, whether it's Japan or Israel or Mexico or Italy or whatever, they all have different guys doing whatever SpongeBob, and it's pretty. I've met some of them. I've met the SpongeBob of Finland, and I've met the Mexican SpongeBob. Yeah, it's pretty funny. So I always thought that would be a great DVD extras. Have some kind of Justice League. Have some kind of Justice League meeting where where all the international SpongeBobs get together and have dinner.
Well, Tom, it's a funny thing because in some countries though they do use your voice, but with the subtitles. Yes. And it's in those countries they do speak English a little bit better. Like, I think they should stick with that plan. Use the original voice with subtitles.
A lot of people have told me that they immigrated to this country, not speaking a lot of English, and that cartoons and SpongeBob being one of the cartoons was one of the ways that they learned. They learned English. So yeah, it's just weird. These weird, you just do this job and it has all these bizarre tributaries of stuff that people tell you about. And yeah, it's just kind of I like to call it a misspent life, but it's I guess it's kind of well spent in a way, but
it's well spent.
You just kind of are into what you're into. And I always hung out with musicians more than I hung out with anybody else, not that I'm a musician, but I always liked music, and
you are,
so I wind up,
but you are. As a matter of fact, Tom and I, the other Tom, we were looking at one of your videos earlier. Is there any way we can show a bit of that, or is that possible, Tom?
Oh,
and here it is.
I'm getting the high seas. Wow.
Oh, they caught me off guard here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tom Kenny and
Um,
the High Seas. Like we got a big band with horns and stuff. We were actually short a couple of that. That was a small space, so we had to shrink the band a little bit. But yeah, me and Andy Paley and myself put together a band called Tom Kenny and the High Seas. That's just a kind of a horn band, with always with a couple of tenors and a baritone. Like those cool Little Richard shows that
the
you see on.
dancers and the
Yeah, and
dancers.
it's cool, it's fun to do. Like we just started doing that. It grew out of SpongeBob shows that we were doing where, we put this band together to play the SpongeBob songs for children's charities, so various
Okay.
charities, for kids that survive cancer, and they would have these Christmas parties and all
That's
this
wonderful.
stuff. And we would just put together a band and play the SpongeBob Christmas album that you were a part of and Best Day Ever and all that. And then we kind of realized that we all loved the same kind of music, like just this kind of soul and R&B and, country, everything else, all the stuff you love. And we said, why not? Let's just play that somewhere. So it seemed like there were a lot of great rockabilly bands and great Western swing bands and, great bands of I didn't want to get into competing with awesome people and lose. So Andy Paley said, if you could do any kind of band, what would it be? And I said, it's kind of stupid, but let's do like a big show band, like horns, girls. We have this a female vocal group called the Damsels that existed before Tom Kenny and the High Seas, and we just kind of incorporated them in. They come and help us out, and we just put together this like a big show band. Like let's just be a big frat band, like a big frat house, stupid Doug Clark and the Hot Nuts, swamp pop
Yeah.
band with way too many people.
Tom knows that.
With way too many people in it. And it's really fun to just go on. Now we can't play because when you have 12 people in your band, it's an instant super spreader event. But but yeah, I miss that. I really miss doing that. And people have a great time because we just want to jump around and have fun and scream and have people on the dance floor jump around and do the same thing. So it's kind of fun. And, as a business model, it's the stupidest thing of all time. Yeah. These people are playing for, it's like, hey, thanks for playing with me for 3 sets. Here's $20. But we all have a great time and the audience has a great time. And I can't wait to start doing it again.
Yeah. Well, I know what you mean. It's what a big undertaking that must be. But when you were up,
it's
when
harder
does
than I
come
thought
together,
it would be, Robert.
But Tom, well, maybe it's not worth it for you because you're having to fund this. But for a lot of us, once you do pull it together, you just look like you're just having so much fun, like the time of your life with the, backed up by this whole show. You have a full show behind you, man, and you're
Right.
the one
And
who
it's like-
brings the show more than you. It looks like you're
And it's
really
kinda
in your
that
element,
thing where
man.
you go, it's kind of the thing where you go, wow, we built that. You know what I mean? We built
Yeah.
that. It's like 3 horns, 3 girls, guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, percussion. It's like it's kind of fun to. And once you put it together once, you don't want to let it just wither. So you go, I have a ball. It's really fun and just screaming and sweating. I can't wait to do it again. I'm sure you feel the same about your gigs. Like
I do.
man,
I do.
I just want to rock and roll again.
I do, just for myself, but for other selfish reasons, because I want to be able to witness amazing things like that. Even if I never played another show again, I want to still go out and see stuff like that. Entertain
Me too. And I've been going out to see. I've been going out to see like you. I've been going out to see live music since I was a teenager. Like it's kind of maybe the biggest quality of life issue for me. Like there's nothing more important to me than that.
You are. And
I'm a fan of it. Like for better or for worse, dyed in the wool. And having that be off the table for 8-9 months and counting is really hard. It's like, where do you? How I need to replace that. How do you replace that? That hit. And so it's a drug, right? It's like I've been going out to see movies. I met Muddy Waters in a bar when I was 16, and so and I named.
I don't know that story.
And I named. You don't know this? That's why my son, now 23 years old, is named McKinley, after McKinley Morganfield. Mac is named after Muddy Waters, because I met Muddy Waters when I was 16. Somewhere there's a picture, and I said, if I ever have a kid, I'm naming him after you. If I ever have a kid, I'm naming him after you. I was in high school still, and he said, "Oh, you're crazy." Hey, Pine Top, hey, Pine Top. This boy says that if he has a child, he's naming it after me, and I'm like, I'm gonna do it. And so, 1996, my kid is born. I'm like, I have to keep a promise that I made when I was 16 years old. And my wife actually let me do it. She let me name my kid after Muddy Waters. So that just goes to show you how deep seated this stuff is. And I know, like Eddie Angel from Those Straight Jackets, and all these other people, like we have the same kind of biography of you just love this stuff, and you can't. It's in you, and you just can't help it. In some ways, it would be easier if it wasn't in you.
Yeah, well, I'm happy that I have that problem, and I'm so glad.
It's a good problem to have.
And I'm so glad that you have the same affliction, my friend, because we've all benefited from that and everything you've done over the years. I don't want to monopolize this. I'm going to turn it back over to Tom. But thank you for being here, Mister. Thank you for being here, my friend.
Yeah.
Hey, am I overstaying my welcome? Should this roll into the
No. The thing is,
like, are people falling asleep? Like, all right, we get it, stupid. All right, shut up.
Hey, you know what? No, I'm going to keep. Okay, if you feel that way, just so you don't feel bad, I'll keep going. Man, you know what was
we got to play the Christmas album. We got to play your Christmas cut next time.
Let's.
We got to play your SpongeBob.
No, we'll play the whole.
Cut.
We'll play the whole thing right now. Hey, what happened?
I was trying to get Paul in there.
Chops.
Okay.
Hey, Rick.
Hi, Paul.
Peters.
Hey, I'm back.
You got anything for Tom here, Paul? In your choppy state?
No, I appreciated him going into the question thing. I've been able to listen to everything. I just got kicked out a few times, but thank you for being on again, man.
Thanks. Not the first time you've been kicked out of a joint, I'm sure.
Exactly.
Happens to the best of us. Well, I don't want to overstay my welcome. You guys just kicked me off when it's like when I was doing comedy clubs.
I'll wrap it up now. No, I think we're getting close to that. But I just want to mention something. You referred to one of the times that we've gotten together to go share a sandwich, and I tell you what, there was a moment that just filled my heart with so much love and joy. Like it was you and I and our friend Dave Stuckey. We had been at the same place before with also with our other buddy. We got to mention Alan Norman. The sheriff.
The hippest man of all time.
But I tell you, Tom, the last time we were there, I just felt like it brought little tears to my eyes when there was two young people that recognized you. And
they were
the
kids.
way you handled it.
Those kids are staring at us, Yeah.
The way you handled it now, man. And the parents are looking on too, because they would know too. I just love it. Just reminded me of how much joy you brought to different generations over the years, and the way you must love it too. But the way you handled it,
there's no downside.
You're so gracious with your time.
It's all good, So yeah, that was funny. We were sitting socially distanced outside at a sandwich place with Stuckey, eating our sandwiches, and these kids. I kind of noticed that these kids kept looking over, and I was like,
yeah.
You never really know what that's about. Sometimes they're just kids. I'm like, do I have boogers? You know what I mean? What's going on? And so then they came up. This is how it goes. Then the dad comes over and goes, they say you're the voice of SpongeBob, because the dad wants to make sure that you're not just some freak, And so,
well, good for him.
Yeah, absolutely, being a good dad, doing the job. And so I was like, yeah, because these kids see YouTube stuff and behind the scenes kind of videos and things like that. And the kids were 100% certain. And the parents are going, I'm not sure. What would he be doing at this sandwich place in Orange County? You know what I mean? And so, and the kids were like, no, that's him. But by the same token, I think it was maybe not the same time, but the previous visit where a bunch of people that were sitting at an adjoining table recognized you and freaked out.
Oh yeah, I did.
They're like,
that. I did get that.
Sandy.
I
they
did
flipped
get
out.
that. Yeah.
And Stucky too. And I was the odd man out. I was like, hey, I'm friends with them. And it was that was magical too. And you guys handled it beautifully as well. It's cool. Like SpongeBob is kind of multi-generational and just all different kinds of people like him. Like SpongeBob enjoys a lot of goodwill out in the world. So when they need me to publicize something and they set up like a radio tour, like I'll go on like, classic rock stations and country stations and rap stations and, all kinds of stuff. And SpongeBob is one of the only things that kind of finds his way into all those different worlds, because it's, it's really bizarre. It's really great. And of course it's all Steve Hillenburg kind of gifting me with this, with this thing years ago, just going, hey, you're the guy I hear for this, this character that I've been drawing obsessively for a long time. And, that's it. It's a gift. You've
been a spokesperson for just being a good guy because cliche couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. You're the nicer guy, man.
So are you. Thank you.
God bless you, Tom.
We got to get Stucky back on here. I think the next time I come on, we got to review Carnival Rock with Bob Lumen and Susan Cabot.
Brilliant idea. I'm in.
That is our next. That is our next.
Almadar, are you in?
Any movie that combines carny people and rock and roll is come on. That's good. That's gold right there.
I'm in.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me on, you guys.
Man, thank you so much for being on our show. Yeah, people are going to think I'm awesome because you're on our show.
I will come on anytime. Yeah, I don't do a lot of podcasts and stuff like that. Just but I love doing your show. It's really fun, and
we feel thoroughly blessed to have you on.
Let's do it again real soon. We'll do a Christmas show where you got to hear Wet Christmas with Robert Big Sandy singing the vocals.
Yeah, just say when.
Well, Tom, we are having a Christmas special. We're actually having a Christmas variety show.
I'm here.
We'll talk.
If any person with real talent cancels out, I'm your call.
Really?
Unfortunately, I won't be here. But
I've been watching Plan B. I'm your Plan SB.
I've been watching a lot of Andy Williams specials. Next year, I will call.
I'll wear a bad sweater and sit in front of a fake fireplace.
Yeah. Okay. Then I'm gonna ask you. Come January.
Cool. I dig Andy Williams actually, but yeah, cool.
All right. Thanks, guys. Man, thank you so much.
Andy Williams meets Robert Williams. I like it.
All right.
Wow. There you go.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I hope I didn't. Now I see why you call it West Coast Ramble, because I probably rambled for way too long. Thanks for having me on.
All right. We'll see you.
You're the best, Tom.
Cheers.
Thanks, buddy. You're the best.
Love you guys. I'll see you at the Christmas special.
Okay. Awesome, man.
Bye.
Hey, you know what? So, Big Sandy, if you can give me his number, and I'm going to call him every day.
Oh yeah, let's do it for sure. Yeah.
Well, hey, speaking about Christmas specials.
Once again, I just say I meant what I was saying. I love, obviously there are some wonderful things that happen to some not so good people too often. Isn't it wonderful to see when nice things happen to good people like him? That's all. That's all I got to say about that. To quote Tom Almanzar.
But you know what? I would have to say I didn't know it's been on for like 20 years. And that's amazing. The guy still keeps going, and he still has the enthusiasm like he's a guy that just came into town. Like, I don't know if I could handle that. Like, if I was SpongeBob, I'd probably, it's hard to handle.
I happen to know that he just came up trying to figure out what am I going to do? How am I going to get through this? He feels like he won the lottery, and but it's just so well deserved, and he's a good guy, just a good guy.
Yeah, I mean, and I worked in television a little bit, not at that level, but
Yeah.
I met some people that have like this much fame that they kind of act like this much is happening, and it's just cool when a guy is just down to earth and he's just thankful for what he has and he's good at what he does. Like it's not a fluke why he's there. I mean, he's funny, and great voices and everything. Like I was looking at his IMDb, I'm like, no way he did the voice for the Snow King. He did the voice for this and that. It's cool, it's and the fact that he's like you said, he's one of us, enjoys the same type of music and everything, and brought a lot of guys onto the production. I didn't know he did it. You got to do a song for SpongeBob. I didn't know that, Robert. Oh, I think you muted yourself. All right.
I thought it was you that did that.
No,
I was
no.
saying, yeah, that's one of the feathers in this cap. What the H? Hey, but anyway, I know that he, like I said, I know it's been a crazy ride for him. Well deserved, but I don't think he's one of those guys that doesn't think like, who does think that, how is this happening to me? So it's cool to see wonderful things happening. What a great career he's had. And he's still doing things. I'm sure he has a couple of other big projects, ahead of him soon.
Including the West Coast Ramble Christmas special.
And maybe he can include us. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, friends. You know what we are doing this year? We are doing a Christmas special. We're going to have our band. I'm with this guy. Over this way, with Paul. He's in a band, and we're going to try to do a little Christmas special in our studio. Play some Christmas songs, and maybe we could get the other guy over there to sing a song or two.
Yeah.
That would be cool. And
we're hoping to have some surprise guests, make a little variety show out of it. And if you have any suggestions out there, along with your donations, you might want to include a suggestion or two who you might like to see, or what type of thing you would. I mean, would you like to see little skits, or just stick to the music, or are you the person who enjoys the interviews? Let us know how you feel.
Well, you know what we could do, friends. December 20th, we're going to do our Christmas show with our band playing live, but we want to interject stuff. So if you wanted to send a nice note to us, anyone, you could record it on your phone, little 10, 15 seconds, say, hey, Merry Christmas, thanks for West Coast Ramble, if you're thankful for us, or your favorite Christmas memory, like, hey, man, I saw a gig with the Reverend Horton Heat back in 95, and it was one of my best gigs, or, something like that would be cool. And another thing, Robert, is it possible to get J.D. McPherson to talk about his Christmas album in the next couple weeks?
Well, I'm looking at Dan Keegan's comments right here, and well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna try for that, and if the word gets out to JD, I'm laying down the gauntlet, my friend. Come back on the show, and we can do a little promo. I know you have a big he's doing a special. Is it in December that his
you buy it and it's up for a week. Like if you buy it, then you can watch it for a week.
They're doing live performances of Socks, which is an instant Christmas classic.
The best.
Well, I invite you, JD, to come on our show before that to promo that.
Oh yeah.
We will do it any day of the week, night or day. As soon as you say you're available to do it, we'll do it.
Yeah. Oh, please do. Yeah, one of my favorite Christmas albums and best Christmas concert, where Big Sandy was there and he wouldn't let us backstage, me and my friends. We just saw him from the stage. Thanks a lot, Big Sandy.
Thanks for busting my bees.
All right, guys, let's put an end to this. Let's put a fork in this show. Any last comments, Paul? Now that we finally got a good signal at the very last part of the show.
Now he's clearer than all of us. What the H?
No, I appreciate everybody tuning in, and thanks for all the donations, guys. And look forward to doing another show soon.
And I just have to say thanks to all the fans. And this is a nice system. We can finally see all these comments as they're coming up. That's nice. Stick with us. We're not sure what's going to happen with the schedule. Stay tuned.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, and send in your favorite Christmas thoughts. We'd love to hear them and put them on our show. Everyone will
send
see
us
it.
your thoughts.
All right, we'll see you guys.
We love you.